Yo, what's up, everybody? It's J-Rock right here, about to hit you with another graphic novel haul. More like a hardcover haul, because there ain't no soft covers or singles or anything in this haul. Now, one thing I'm trying to do is anything that's an epic collection, complete collection, so forth, in trade paperback form. I noticed most of those you can buy on Amazon the exact same copy with the exact same bonus material, extras, everything the same, just digitally, right? So when it comes to those epics and all that, I'm never buying again. I'm buying all that's going digital. I'm buying all that digitally because it's the same exact material down to even the extras, right? Now when it comes to omnibuses, a lot of those I'm still buying hardcover, hard copy, because some of those, the ones that are labeled oversized hardcover, they do have them on Amazon. For example, Fatal Attractions, Inferno Prologue, you get the exact same material, same extras, everything. So I buy those digitally as well. But the ones labeled omnibus, I notice they don't sell them digital. So you say it covers three hardcovers, you would have to buy the three hardcovers. So in those situations, I'm just buying the hard copy, the omnibus, because if I buy the three hardcovers digitally, sometimes it ends up being the same price as the actual omnibus. So I might as well buy the physical copy. And also, if you buy the three hardcovers instead of the actual omnibus, the extras, bonus material, so forth, might not be the same bonus material on the hard copies. Even though you're buying them digitally, it'll be the same extras as the hardcovers, but it might not be the same material that's on the omnibuses. So for the most part, like I said, I'm limiting it to omnibuses from now on, my purchases, and single issues. I'm buying a lot of single issues because a lot of projects I'm working on. So let's get to what I hauled this week, right? This is actually 2 weeks worth. I still have one more package. By the time that gets here from InStock Trades, I will have already made other orders. So I might as well hold that till I get my other orders as well. Because I'm ordering Spider-Gwen for sure. So I might as well show that Spider-Gwen with whatever else stuff I have coming in, right? Okay, so let's get to what I physically have here right now, not my pending stuff. First of all, this one I ordered it the day release. It finally got here. I know most people got this. Actually, you know what? Now I'm tripping. A lot of people didn't get this. I didn't see it in as many halls as I thought. Aliens. This isn't getting that love I thought it'd be getting. I saw some people have it on their house, but not that many. Y'all sleeping on this. Y'all gotta check this shit out. This is the spine, just like the movie. It's awesome. Awesome spine. Awesome cover right there. And I mean, look at the back covers. If you collect this in issues just for the covers and singles, I wouldn't blame you. Awesome. But yeah, I still see plenty of copies on InStock Trade on Amazon. A lot of you ain't ordering this, and you should. Let me get rid of this dust jacket so I could flip through some of the pages. And I haven't seen the art on the actual cover. Awesome. I mean, look at that artwork. And yes, you will get interior art like that. It's a lot of different stories, so you get a lot of different artists, but this will be one of them. I mean, look at that. Love the movies, love Aliens. That's my favorite one. I also like Alien Part 1. I'm not big into horror, thriller, suspense. There's once in a while a big one that grabs my attention, but for the most part, that's stuff I don't watch a lot. And Aliens Part 1 is definitely a completely different tone than the rest of the Alien movies. Once Aliens Part 2 came out, became kind of action sci-fi, and it kind of continued that trend for the rest of the franchise. It became some more that style. But Alien Part One is also it's very good. It's a solid movie. Like I said, I don't watch that style of movies too often. I mean, I watch Quiet Place, Conjuring. There's a few that I like of that style, but it's rare. And this it kind of has stories that continue from the first movie and the second movie in comic book format. Let me flip through some of the pages here. All right, this some of the interior art you're gonna get. Hopefully, there's not a lot of glare there that gets in your way. But yeah, that's some of the art. It's a lot of storylines, so it's a lot of different art. Here's some of the other one. This other story is Sam Keith. Love his art. He does a lot of aliens. Does a lot of interiors for the alien books. This is when I still like his art. It got more and more cartoony as the years passed, and then he got different colorists and inkers that it didn't look the same. I like it when it's this style, the 90s style, the early to mid 90s. I like the scratchy lines he used on the inks. That added a lot to his art style, and his newer stuff, it looks more cartoony. It doesn't have scratchy lines on the ink and so forth, and it's more digital coloring, so it looks different. Back then, I liked it a lot more. Think the art style from back when he did the Max and Marvel's Wolverine Presents. That's his art style I enjoyed. Look, here's another artist. This looks like Simon Bisley. Not sure. I haven't read the credits to see who are the artists, but gorgeous art all across the book. Look at this. Look at this cover. I mean, this is some good stuff. Great artists, some good stories. I haven't read every single story in this book, but I read some of them. Solid stuff. On to book two. This was a complete blind buy. I've heard of this before, but I really don't know anything about it, other than I guess it's kind of like a horror book. The artists, the creators, and so forth on it, the names attached to it, are what caught my interest. Plus, it was hardcover, so I said, you know what, let's go ahead and buy it. The price seemed fair, more than fair. On in stock trades, it was $20 for 500 plus pages hardcover. You know that right there is a solid deal, a steal really. This is called Criminal Macabre. Writer Steve Niles. Look at the spine right there. Love the design on the spine. It's written by Steve Niles. Now you got artists like Ben Templesmith. Love his art. It's very eerie, scratchy. It's out there. And then you got Casey Jones. He worked on Excalibur with Warren and Kelly Jones. A lot of people love Kelly Jones. I'm not a big fan of his art, but it does work well with a horror type of book. Those are some of the names. There's the cover. It's a hardcover, I think, like that BPRD hardcovers or the old Star Wars from Dark Horse, the hardcovers. It's like those books. So if you know anything about those books, the pages can be a little bit thick, so the binding is a little rough. It will lay flat, as you can see here. You have no gutter laws. There's no issues with that. But if you ever own it, if you own any of these yourself, you know what I'm talking about. The binding is a little tight. It almost feels like the pages are gonna come off. But don't worry, they won't. As long as you're not rough with the book, it's sewn binding, you'll be all right. Show you some of the artwork. Ben Templesmith right there. For those of you familiar with them, if you like good art or different styles of art, a variety, you'll appreciate this book just on the art. Like I said, I've never read it, but I flipped through the pages real quick. I mean, look at that. It's a completely different style than the first one. This art style doesn't have a horror feel to it, but the other one did. Then look at this other one, this other artist. I think that's also Ben Templesmith, just a different colorist. So yeah, this is one I'm excited for. It feels like it's gonna be some type of almost like X-Files or something like that. So a horror vibe for sure. $20. It says volume 1. I believe volume 2 never came out. It just probably didn't get the sales. I say check it out. This book is super late to the party on this one. It's House of X, Powers of X by Hickman, the X-Men book. Got a lot of hype last year. Now I kind of regret buying this one. I don't think I'm gonna keep it because I know that you could buy this digitally because it's just a hardcover, right? Like I was saying earlier, hardcovers you could buy the same exact material digitally. But I was noticing on the digital copy it said 320 pages. On the hard copy it said 448 pages. So that's quite a big difference, 150 page difference. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna buy the digital one. I'm gonna open this one and flip to the end to see the same extras and all that are the same on the digital. If it's the same and maybe the numbering was just incorrect, if it's the same, I will be selling this one and I just keep it digitally because it's something, as long as I have digitally, I don't need the hardcover, like I said. Let's get to the next one. This is a big boy. I kept considering, do I want to buy it? Do I not? Do I want to buy it? I kept going back and forth on it. It's this one. Michael Turner's Creations. This will cover Fathom issues 1 through 12. Basically the first series because Fathoms goes in like seasons, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It'll go like 12 issues, then series 2, 12 issues, then series 3, 12 issues. It restarts all the time. It's kind of like season 1, 2, 3, and so forth, right? Now, I caught this one slipping at a pretty good price. I believe I paid like $70. I thought, yeah, 70, that's the price of an omnibus. And it's like 750 pages, I believe. So I go, it's an omnibus basically. So the price is good. And it's more oversized. It's library size. It's taller than an omnibus. So I decided to buy it. And I was wondering, why is it cheaper? Because it said it was in fine condition. So it was used from mycomicshop.com. And I saw already right here some issues with the slipcase. Not a big deal to me. I love Michael Turner's art. I got to see some of his stuff in the 90s with Witchblade, Fathom, and what was the other character? Tomb Raider. And you really saw his art evolve. Where it started was you knew he had promise, right? Like he was just rough around the edges. You knew he had something different, a unique, interesting style, but you knew it was kind of sloppy. But you saw him improve, and it became something real nice. I'm not a big fan of the way he draws guys like superheroes and so forth, but I love the way he draws heroines. Another thing I'm not a big fan of is some of the costume designs he chooses. I know he started with Witchblade, so when he went on to create his own project on Fathom, you could tell he borrowed a lot from Mark Silvestri's design because the Fathom costume is very similar, the armor, very similar to the Witchblade armor. And it's alien technology, so forth, just like Witchblade. The big difference is that Fathom was under the ocean, but he borrowed a lot from Mark Silvestri, which was, as far as ideas, which was his like his mentor basically, right? That's the big homie. So you're gonna kind of copy and borrow from who you look up to. I wouldn't call it directly stealing, as more as I would say inspired by it, because there is a difference. There's a big difference in my opinion, and it definitely shows in the pages of Fathom. If you read some of Fathom and some of Witchblade, there's some similarities there. You know what? Let's go ahead and pop this bad boy open and flip through some of the pages. All right, let's flip through some pages here. Look at this one. I mean, look at that gorgeous artwork. But then look how he has the character there standing on her tiptoes. I mean, like, the fuck is that? Right? Like that makes no sense. But then there's this pages like right here. This is very 90s style. This I think it came out back in like 97, 99, somewhere. I want to say almost 99. So this has the first, I believe it has the first 12 issues of Tomb Raider, but issues 13, 12, 13, and 14, you had Lara Croft from Tomb Raider, and you had Sarah from Witchblade. They had a 3-issue crossover for her, his last 3 issues. So those are not in here because, you know, he doesn't own the rights to those characters. So this is going to be interesting for me to read because those 3 issues have been replaced. I believe they said they rewrote them to do the same, to do a different story, I think, where those characters are not there, right? So that's gonna be interesting. I have the singles. I had the trade paperbacks I recently sold because I ordered the singles because I'm gonna have them custom bound into omnibuses. So I will be double dipping on this particular story. But the other one, the one I'm making with the single issues, they're gonna have those the Witchblade and Tomb Raider and the Darkness. All those crossovers are gonna be in there. They were not in the trade paperbacks, which is why I sold them and decided I'm gonna buy the singles to have them turn into an omnibus. And I said I'm gonna go ahead and order this too because there will be some differences. It's gonna have those last 3 issues are gonna be different on here, so that's gonna be kind of interesting. Also, the second half of this book is 12 issues of this series called Soulfire, which I'm not too familiar with, but it's Michael Turner on art and it's his own creation, so I want to see what he does with that. So yeah, that's gonna be something I'm excited to read eventually. It came with this little poster here, gorgeous artwork, raw pencils from Michael Turner. Look at that. I mean, George Perez couldn't do it better himself, right? Look at all those characters that collage, he worked all those characters into one picture. It's the same artwork you're gonna get on the dust jacket. Same artwork, now here's in color. I honestly, I like the drawing itself, but I wasn't a fan of this dust jacket. I wish this art would have been directly on the book. On the book and on the dust jacket, I wish it had something different, like 2 separate covers, you know, a front cover, back cover, and a design on the spine. So when I put it on the shelf, they'll say, you know, Michael Turner or Fathom or whatever, and they'll have the Aspen logo up here. instead of having this weird piece of an art, piece of a picture, right? It's gonna look weird on the shelf. I was not a fan of that myself. Like I said, I wish this picture would have been on the actual book and the dust jacket would have been different. But you know what can you do? I mean, I think I could have this custom bound. They go for about $20 for the dust jackets, but that's 20. It's not that important for me to spend $20 on it. You know, it is what it is. I'll just leave it with that one. Got a few singles here from mycomicbookshop.com. You know what? I don't have comic book stores that close by. There's some maybe an hour away, 30, 40 minutes away, so I don't really bother to go to them too often. Frankenstein's is about an hour away as well. And there's a great place to get back issues. You know, they sell a lot of back issues still for a quarter, 50 cents, you know, like back in the days. So you just gotta take hours there looking through every long box to find runs and so forth that you're looking for. Sometimes you even get key issues of stuff that's like a modern key issue that just got hot, you know, hot books, so, and they're still there for 50 cents. So it's a good place to also just find books while they're hot and flip them. But so I haven't, like I was saying, I haven't gone there in a long time. I don't know if it was even open during COVID. I wish right now that I'm working on some custom bound hardcovers and I'm ordering some singles, kind of want to go over there, you know, see if I could find those issues, a lot of the older issues. But anyway, I ordered these from mycomicbookshop.com. Fathom number 10, check out that cover. Like I said, I'm working on some Fathom books. Another cover. At this point, I believe it's not Michael Turner anymore. So I don't know how the interiors are gonna look, but the covers are still nice. I'm still digging the covers, so I'll flip through the interior art later. These are kind of like a blind buy. There's the next one. These I haven't flipped through them or read this series myself, so I don't know how great they are. I heard it fizzled off after Michael Turner got kind of whack. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't read them. I love this cover. I love this art. Who is this? Ala Garza or Cell Region? Man, this has like an anime manga style almost. And that's very dynamic. A lot of action on that cover. Cannon Hawk is another spin-off. It's another character from the Fathom universe. This cover sucks. I'm not really feeling that art. But yeah, I got these, you know, slowly chunk away at these when I find them at a good price and so forth. Little bundles or whatnot at eBay. Sometimes they're selling 10 for $8 or whatever. I'm like, cool. That's when I hop on them. So I'll slowly get all of them. Oh yeah, I got two more hardcovers. I had these here for like, they were already on my mailbox when I did my last haul. I just hadn't gone to pick them up. And this was the last stuff I had dropped off at my P.O. box before I, you know, canceled it. So it was this Monstrous. Been procrastinating on this for a long time. I've been wanting it. Been just, you know, taking my sweet time. I don't know if there's a volume 2. Yeah, I believe so, because it says volume 1, so I believe there will be a volume 2. I read the first issue, found it very interesting. They had it on Hoopla, so I read the first issue there, but they had the whole hardcover digitally for free. So I was like, do I really need to buy it when they have it there? And it's the same hardcover with all the same extras and so forth. Read the first issue. I liked the art and the story enough where I thought, you know what? I want to own it physically. I'm going to go ahead and order it. So I went ahead and did just that. And the other one is my East to West Volume 1. So I finally have all three. I have the whole completion. So I will be giving this a reread soon. I never read Volume 2 or 3. I read Volume 1 and half of the first 6 issues of Volume 2. I never continued past issue 20 or 22. I need to get on that as well. I don't know how the series ends. One series I kind of wish got an omnibus or 2 compendiums or whatever is Birthright. When I got into comics as an adult, the series I was collecting was this: East to West, Low, Birthright, and Copperhead. So this one got the 3 hardcovers. It ran about the same time as Birthright. So, you know, hopefully maybe they make 3 hardcovers of Birthright and you guys hop on it because I feel like a lot of people don't buy it because it's trade paperbacks. I feel like if they had hardcovers, sales will skyrocket. They'll go up. A lot of people are picky. It has to be a hardcover or it's an automatic skip. Hopefully, the creator takes a gamble and decides to do a hardcover. You could cover the whole series in 3 hardcovers, just like East to West. They started at the same time and they ended around the same time. Those are 2 series I would love to have in hardcover because it's stuff I was reading when I first got into comics, right, as an adult. So also Low just finished up as well. All 3 series just finished last year, and Low's getting a second hardcover to wrap up that run. I would love to have those 3 runs in hardcovers. Those 3 series, along with Bendis's Guardians of the Galaxy Omni, are the first 3 things I was reading when I got into comics. I got into them because of the Guardians, and Guardians was towards the end. It was towards the last issues already. So it was ending and these were starting. East to West, Low, and what's it called were just starting. Birthright and Guardians. I bought Guardians, was not familiar with Bendis or Sarah Pacelli. Love the artists on that, the Pacelli art. Was not familiar with any of the creators. So I bought the last few issues and singles. Then I started buying trades of East to West and Low and all that, right? I bought the trades. I liked the series. I never finished those series because about 10 issues in or so for a year in, I started buying hardcovers and omnibuses. So I never finished the singles. I said, I'll continue buying them when they make hardcovers. The longer you collect, the longer you start figuring things out and so forth. You start realizing, hey, they don't make hardcovers of everything like Marvel does, right? So it's a gamble. I was like, yeah, I guess Low never did it. I guess Birthright never did it. And East to West did, though. And so I was waiting on those and waiting. And then we finally got a Low hardcover, and it's much bigger than this one. I wish it was the same size as this. Keep them in uniform, same size. But it's not as much bigger. And then we never got the Birthright. So when you do wait, if it's not Marvel, you're kind of taking a gamble. You might wait for something that might never come. So Birthright, I'm considering, do I want to just go ahead and buy them digitally? Do I want a custom bound? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm thinking I'm just going to hold off, see if they make hardcovers. If they don't, they do have them for free at the library. So I'll just read them that way probably because I am trying to, like I said, save space. So yeah, that's it. That's the last one for this haul. And those are series I did enjoy them, and I think since they were my first introduction to modern comics, there wasn't stuff from '93 when I was 10 or whatever. It was more modern to kind of see how comics have come a long way and changed, especially once you read the more indie stuff like Image or stuff like that. I was like, wow, like they're a lot different. Like they're more grown up. It was more stuff I would expect from maybe a Conan book. Conan magazine, it has some swearing, some more gore. But then I went back and started doing current Marvel, and it's a lot of Wolverine stuff and other characters that also do a lot more gore. And I'm gonna go ahead and chalk that up to thanking Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat back in '92 or whatever when it came out, '93 when it came out on Genesis and Super Nintendo. I think they fought a good fight. They fought the fight so that comics today and video games today didn't have to, right? The hard work was done for them. Mortal Kombat went through a lot of scrutiny and they went through that whole new rule where why could movies do it and not video games? So then they started saying, okay, video games can do this, but they will also have to have ratings, mature, adult, NC-17, and so forth, right? That was the beginning of that. I was there with all the kids my age. We were at the forefront of seeing all that evolve and develop, right? Right, because we're the ones that was affecting, because we were the ones being told not to play these games, and we're the ones reading, hopefully, like these laws pass, so we could go buy them at the stores. They didn't affect adults as much, maybe parents, but most of those, they weren't playing video games, so it didn't really affect them, right? So we were like paying attention at what's gonna happen. At that time, I remember adults were paying attention. What they were worried about is, are we gonna be allowed to still smoke in bars? Because they were passing that new law that can no longer smoke in a bar. And we were like worried about, are we gonna be able to buy these video games, right? So it was a giant step forward for a lot of media, because after that we were allowed to play. The video games got more grown up, so now people my age, people in the 30s, 40s, 50s, are playing video games. Back then, older people didn't play them because it didn't appeal to them because they were more kiddish, right? And now we play on one. We grew up with them. The previous generations didn't, but also because they're more grown up. So even some adults that didn't grow up with video games can get into them as adults because they're more adult orientated, have more of a story to tell. I mean, God of War and stuff like that has nudity. Back in my days, we used to when I was like in high school, we used to stand in front of liquor stores to get people to buy us beer, right? Someone older because we were underage. And it was crazy how the people that are 5, 6 years younger than me, the next generation after us, when we were coming out of school, the new people coming into high school, what they were doing, were standing outside of GameStops, right? Hey, can you buy me this video game? You look over 21, you look over 18. Here, I'll give you the money because they couldn't buy God of War Part 2. I remember this. I was already like 19, 20 when God of War Part 2 came out. And kids that were 15, 13, they're like, hey, you can't buy me this game. And I was like, what? And I was like, I didn't think about that because I was old enough to buy the games. But I didn't think, hey, like, this is affecting the new generation. They can't just go in there and buy these games. And if their parents are not on board, they have to, like, buy them sneakily, right? So that was crazy. It was crazy. But it's a beautiful thing at the same time to see how this evolved because video games like the Mortal Kombat company and stuff like that didn't just fold. You know, they fought for their right to create what they want to create, right? They didn't just give in to the complainers. So that was beautiful to see. It was also kind of nice to see kids still rebelling, you know, teenagers still like, hey, I'm not allowed to buy this game, but I'm gonna find a way to do it, right? As long as it's nothing, you know, bad, like you know, I still got a kick out of that back then. So I'm like, hey, like it's good to see kids are still, you know, not being too sheltered. They still have a mind of their own. Like I'm not just gonna do what my parents tell me. You know, again, like I said, as long as it isn't anything too crazy, like drunk driving or something, right? All right, I've taken up enough of your time. Thanks for tuning in, checking out this video, hearing me speak a little bit about my hobby and so forth. So if you enjoyed this video, you already know what's up. Hit that subscribe button. That will keep you notified on your feed for when the next video's up. Other than that, just check you guys out next time.